This time last year, I quit my job to pursue my running dreams. And now I'm on my 4th training camp of the year, preparing for my next marathon, where I'm gonna run the Olympic qualifying time. But first, let's run it back. I'm gonna take you through how that happened and the whirlwind of a journey that came before it. Let's go. This time last year, I was still working a 9 till 5 job, Monday to Friday, as a civil servant working in government policy. That just makes me laugh. That's so not me. Fitting in my training before work, after work, getting up at the crack of silly in the morning to squeeze in my training. Couldn't do any gym work because I didn't have time. Somehow, we were still creating videos like this. Now, I'm sat here in Gatwick Airport, preparing to depart for my 4th training camp this year. My 4th training camp to do the final few weeks of training for my 3rd marathon, where I'm going to be gunning for the Olympic qualifying time. What? Today, whilst I'm traveling, I'm going to talk about that journey and obviously how life is so different now to how it was back then. Also, there's ways in which it's the same. Just taking time to reflect and be grateful and also to look ahead to what's next. But first, I need to go and check what gate I'm at. So one benefit to getting randomly selected for a security search, first on the plane. I wouldn't usually bother. I'd usually sit there and wait for everyone else to get on board first. But at least I can sit down. Flight numero uno coming up. That was the easiest American arrival ever. Bags rechecked, passport control, lovely, really friendly. This is a good omen for the rest of the travel. Let's hope. Snacks. Well, dinner at 3:45 local time. Smell the soup. Broccoli cheddar. I actually wanted the mac and cheese, but they were out, so she gave me a discount. What a lovely woman. 3:45 local time, which means 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8:45. So having a little salad din-dins, these weird looking croutons, and got some time to kill. Oh, I meant to say as well, I was a little bit stupid. When I got off my flight, I sent Daniel a voice note and I was like, oh my god, I cleared everything so quickly and now I'm in the terminal, but it's so weird. There's only a Dunkin' Donuts. There's nothing else here. And I went over and asked this guy at one of the check-in places. I was like, where's all the restaurants and cafes? He was like, yeah, there's a Dunkin' Donuts downstairs. Maybe there's more once you've gone through security. And I was like, oh yeah, because I have to clear security again. So I've done that now. And I have about 2 hours till my flight leaves. So I'm gonna eat this and then I'm gonna pick up where I left off with the view of the sun gently starting to set over Boston Airport. Hi. Well, that was delicious. And now I need to go find my gate because my flight is leaving 45 minutes earlier than I thought it was. We don't want to miss it. Onwards. We made it to the gate. It's starting to feel like it's bedtime, because it is bedtime at home. Alright, so where was I? My life has changed so much in the last 6 months, let alone the last year. But I want to rewind a bit, because I don't want to talk about life being so amazing now, and it being all sunshine and rainbows, and just, I don't want to talk about it as if that's just happened, you know, by accident. I've just got here from where I was this time a year ago, because that's not real. And then later on, I'm going to take you through the whole journey of how I got to where I am now. Some of it you may already know from some of my previous videos, but I'll go into a bit more detail. And later on, I'll talk about whether there's anything I miss from the 9 to 5. So I guess taking it back to before I knew that this is what I wanted to do, I always felt very troubled by not knowing what to do with my life or what to do as a career. There was such a long list of jobs that I thought I wanted to do. I wanted to be a paramedic at one point. I think I wanted to be a hairdresser. I think deep down I wanted to be an actress, a psychologist once I got to uni. But I never felt that I knew, like deep down in my core, what I was meant to be doing. And for some reason that really troubled me, because maybe I assumed that all of my friends and the people around me knew that and they were on their path. Like, if you always know that you've wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer, then I don't know, I felt really envious of that direction from people. And sure, I loved running, but there's no way I had the confidence or the belief that it would ever make me any money, let alone basically be my job, which I think also led me to struggle with my identity a lot, because the only thing that I was certain of, or that I'd ever always been, was a runner. And as you get older and you've finished school or uni where, you know, you're part of the athletics club and everyone else runs, a lot of people stop doing that. I'd see my friends from school at, you know, parties or in the summer, and everyone would ask how their, you know, jobs are going and how their career ladder climbing pursuit is going. Everyone would ask me how running's going, which was great, but I felt like I was lacking this like professional pursuit of a career, or like I just really didn't know what I wanted to do, and it really bothered me. I lost a lot of sleep over that, and I'd ask my friends and my family to help me decide, as if, you know, I could just take a quiz and figure out what I wanted to do. I probably did take a few quizzes, to be fair. Actually, I definitely did. And I think the theme of me struggling with my identity and my sense of self, well, it definitely got worse, especially when running wasn't what I was good at anymore, or that I perceived it that way anyway. Then it kind of became, well, who am I? What do I have going for me? Which is really sad that I felt like that. I think we're boarding. I also think I'm in class Z for boarding group, so I won't be boarding yet. But I do want to have a stretch, because I didn't move much on that last flight, which is good in the sense that I slept. I know I'm going to be tired as hell tomorrow if I don't stretch, so I'm going to go and do my gym mobility routine in the gate area, which definitely won't look weird at all. Pray for me. Flight numero 2. Oh hi, yeah, I'm calling back. We made it, and I just dropped my room keys everywhere. Why am I like this? Room number... Does it have my room number? 402. It is so stuffy in here, but I have a massive big bed. Yes! And I can't wait to sleep in it. So at this point, I've been awake for... It's 10 p.m. here, which means... 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 a.m. at home. So I've been awake for 23 hours. Bedtime. I will pick up where I left off tomorrow. Good night. Oh, jet lag. Good morning. This is the most alive I've been at 5 a.m. in a very long time. Yeah, baby! I did wake up at 4:40. I tried to get some more sleep, but it wasn't to be. 5 a.m, that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5 a.m, that's midday at home, so not too bad in terms of the old jet lag. Hopefully that'll shift by about an hour a day. Don't think breakfast has started yet, but I am starving. So I'm gonna have myself a snackaroo from my bag and see if I can stomach one of these. coffee is disgusting. I don't know why I gave it a chance. I don't know why I thought that I would be a coffee girl this morning. I'm just not, and I've burnt my tongue. I like a good coffee, don't get me wrong, but I like a flat white or a latte or not whatever that is. Disgusting! Whilst I wait for breakfast to open, where was I? I was talking about the tough times that had to happen. You really do get good things from adversity, and you go through a tough time, and it can often be a key change to shift your path. Not immediately, you don't necessarily see those results straight away, but it can, you know, you can learn something about yourself, about what's important to then shift you onto the path you're meant to be on. And I think that's what happened with me. I think the lowest for me in terms of my running and it being so unlikely that I would be in this very position now was the start of my eating disorder back in 2011. I got treatment for that, and it's never simple, and my advice to anyone struggling with that is to get treatment as soon as possible, because the longer you leave it, the deeper it roots into you. And I think, you know, there's a correlation with how long you then deal with it, you know, whether that's relapse, recovery, you know, for years and years to come. And for me, that was for the next 9 years, from 2011, with ups and downs, and, you know, being in maybe a better headspace and then in a worse headspace. And wherever my mental health was in general, or how I felt about myself, or what was happening around me and how in control I felt of that, would always correlate with my eating behavior, and my disordered eating would just skyrocket when I was struggling. That 9 years wasn't just hell. I had some really, really good times, and there were extended periods of time where I was in a good place. But I think probably the toughest low point for me was the relapse I had at the end of my time at the University of Oregon. If you haven't seen that video, I filmed a video about my experience as an Oregon Duck and how this all culminated with a relapse of my eating disorder and me being in just a terrible place with my sense of self-worth, experiencing really, really negative thoughts and very unhelpful and unhealthy behaviors around my eating and just my mental health in general. I was just in such a dark place. And I find the Oregon video that I made so hard to watch. And I can remember hating having to watch it back when we were in the edit process, because, you know, Daniel will make an edit, then I come in and watch it and make suggestions, or, you know, see whether I'm happy with it. And I just, it brings back so many tough emotions for me. And I look back at who I was such a lost and broken person. So different to how I see myself today. And I think those close to me would agree as well. I was just lacking the life and energy that I have today. And yeah, that was really, really tough. You know what will lighten that? Some toast. Everybody loves toast. Let's go get some breakfast. Am I wearing yesterday's clothes even though I have a whole suitcase of other clothes to choose from? Yes. Yes, I am, because I haven't showered yet. Now it's 6:45. Now what do? I can't pick my car up until 11. So I'm thinking, let's do 8 in the morning because it's 6:45 and I've got ages. And then after the drive, just got 5 miles. That sounds nice. She's having a wild hair day. I don't believe in bad hair days, just wild hair days. She's doing her own thing, that's okay. So that's some of the tough times, without going into too much detail, because like I said, I feel like I've done that before on this channel. I don't want to dwell on it, I just want to recognize that that's a part of this journey. And I think one of the big things that changed my course to lead to where I am today was meeting Daniel. Without wanting to get super soppy. He's my soulmate, and I knew that from the moment I met him, and having him in my life from that moment and until today and beyond, you know, makes me a better person. And without him, this YouTube channel would never have started, and it would not continue to exist, because he is such a big part of it. Love you, Daniel. I can kind of get a bit soppy, because I know that you guys all love Daniel too. You can't get enough of the guy. And then obviously I came home from Oregon, and the pandemic, whilst hard, allowed me to connect with why I run and why I've always loved running, which I think I'd kind of lost touch with. And I actually started to miss racing by the end of the pandemic. I'd been able to connect with just going out and running hard when I wanted to, mixing up my own training sessions, and I actually got some fitness back. So by the end of kind of coming out of lockdown, I was getting kind of itchy to race, which I hadn't felt in such a long time. That was awesome. I am so glad I didn't do that run on the treadmill. Ah, yes! Feeling so accomplished. I don't know why, but I was getting in my head before I left about like just feeling worried about running on my own in a place that I don't know and not having anyone here like if something happened. But it was awesome. I put a podcast on, took my phone, saw the sights. That was probably one of the nicest runs I've done in such a long time. Just in terms of like scenery and like looking left to right and enjoying it. I mean, I have lovely runs at home, but you get used to the routes you run on, right? And that was different gravy. It's like in a desert.
Yeah, no Sherlock.
Right, I need to shower my disgusting dirty body because I have not washed since I left on Thursday. Ew. And then I need to go pick up my car and drive it up the mountain, baby. I'm going to get my car. This is my car. I got me a 4-wheel drive Ford. They actually didn't have any pickup trucks, which I wasn't too annoyed about because I was getting a bit worried about a pickup truck in the snow after a load of you messaged me being like, actually Philly, that's kind of the worst thing you could drive when I put it up on my Instagram. Because when it snows and gets icy, the back kicks out. So I've gone for a, is this an SUV? I don't know. It's a 4-wheel drive, big ass Ford, and you can put these seats down. Oh my god, I think you could probably have like 8 people in here. I don't need that much space. This is gonna be the biggest car I've ever driven. Ah! Alright, false alarm. Got myself all excited and G'd up and ready to go. I have to take the car back. I went to the exit thing, and the lady got out like a Tipex marker and wrote on the car and was like, no honey, this one's gotta go back. I don't know why. You can go pick a different car. Just got myself all situated in it. Now I've got to go pick a different one. Take 2. I'm in another Ford Explorer. Just got to position myself and we'll be off. All right, I am not messing around, but I'm in my 3rd car now. We are now in the GMC all-wheel drive because that one stunk. And when I turned it on, the fan didn't sound right. And it was the same car as the Ford Explorer I just got in. So I was like, nope, that's unlucky. Let's drive. We have ourselves a Subway for lunch, which means that my double later on is going to be interesting. But honestly, there's not much other choice for food. So I went as gut-friendly as possible. But yeah, let's see. So then post-pandemic, slowly but surely, I started to chip away at things again. My first race back, I think, was like June of 2021. So I still took like 6 or so months after feeling ready to race to actually being able to get into a race, because I was just plagued with little niggles and injuries like every 6 to 8 weeks. I was just not conditioned and super fragile. But I got back into a race, and that 5k, I think I ran like a pretty unglamorous 16:35, but it was the start of this new era, and every race from that point just got better and better. With every race, I gained confidence. I remember winning the Reading Half Marathon in November of that year, 2021, and that was a big deal. I've done that race so many times, and it's kind of my local half marathon, so it felt really special to win that for the first time. And it was also the moment, as soon as I finished that race, I was like, I want to run the marathon. I'm ready. I'm ready to tick off this bucket list item of becoming a marathon runner. And that's when I started training for my first marathon in Seville. I made it. So end of 2021, I started training for the Seville Marathon, my first marathon. And then in the January of that training block, yeah, it must have been like a month, maybe 5 weeks before Seville, we started the YouTube channel. And that's almost 2 years ago now. That just absolutely blows my mind, because it's literally changed my life. It's changed both of our lives, which is mental. And it's because of this YouTube channel and my coaching business, which I set up about 6 months afterwards, that I gained the freedom to be able to quit my job this time last year. After 1 year of making these silly little videos. They're not silly videos, I know they're not silly, but sometimes I have to just stop and think and look back and recognize how mad that all is, and how lucky we are, how lucky we've been, and how cool that is. How crazy is that? I quit my job not even a year ago, and we'd started making YouTube videos not even a year before that. We're definitely at altitude. I almost forgot. And then I set off to run and was like, it's just hard. Oh yeah, we're at 7,000 feet. Altitude is no joke. Right, where am I? I missed the turning, and then I found the turning, but now I'm the wrong number of houses down. Let me go this way. That was a nice run. Trails were nice. Weather was okay, windy, cold. It was nice. Didn't feel too bad. Heart rate in a good place. Tick, 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 ticks all round. Right then. So that was the journey to getting here, I guess. And you'll have seen a lot of what's happened during that time, if you've seen my previous videos. And if you haven't, go back and watch them. I promised I'd talk about the pros and cons of quitting my job, doing what I'm doing now, you know, this completely different lifestyle that I now have. So I'll get into that. And I will tell you about the things that I miss, because there is at least one thing, maybe two things that I miss. And then I'm going to talk about what's next. Because we all know the journey's not over. The journey has just begun. First, I need a shower. And I need to go to the supermarket. Found the goods. Peanut butter. I have washed, and I now have food. I always have clean hair, because I managed to buy shampoo and conditioner. So, your girl's clean now. Where was I? Pros and cons. Honestly, there's more pros than cons. Obviously. Otherwise I wouldn't be doing this. So pros, freedom to travel and to work when and where I want to, prioritizing running over everything else. My whole routine and my whole life is basically shaped around running. To an extent, it's shaped around my happiness as well, but running makes me happy. And I'm literally shaping my life around pursuing my dreams in running, which feels pretty special. Work is fun. Work doesn't feel like work, which is a massive pro. It's super rewarding. I find the engagement with the community that we have built on YouTube to be the most rewarding thing about creating content. I genuinely feel like I have hundreds and thousands of friends and supporters in you guys, my subscribers, the people that watch my videos, the people that send me lovely messages, and the people that, for some reason, care about the content I make. And I feel so lucky to have that. And Number 5, the excitement of not knowing what's around the corner. Like, I've looked back at the last year and where I was this time last year. If I think that's crazy, what on earth is the next year gonna entail? I have no idea, and that's really exciting. So what about the cons? Honestly, there's not many. But sometimes we take on too much, which is our fault. It's just not really a con. Sometimes we pile on too much to do, too many videos to make, too much to fit in too little time, and that can be stressful. But again, that's a learning process for us to figure out because we are our own bosses now. The other con would be sometimes there's a lot of added pressure when you work with brands to do ads and brand deals, which I really appreciate doing, and I think it's an integral part of any YouTube channel because it brings in the money and it means that you can invest more in the channel and invest in these videos. But when brands bring their own deadlines, that then takes away some of the freedom, and I think sometimes that can be a little bit challenging. But really that's it, and that's not many cons. So what do I miss about my old job that I was very excited to quit to do what I'm doing now? Well, I'll tell you. Do I miss waking up at 5:30 in the morning to get a run done at 6 a.m. before spending 2 hours commuting to London, to then get train delays on the way home, to get home at 10 p.m. and to miss my evening double? No, I don't miss that. Do I miss my running performance being directly impacted from work stress and having to commute and spending energy on those things? Nope. But I do kind of miss having colleagues, weirdly. You don't really have any colleagues as a YouTuber. I'm very lucky that me and Daniel do this together and it's 100% a team effort. But having like a team around you or people that are adjacent to your work so they can come in with fresh eyes can be really useful for bouncing ideas off or just having people around you. And as a people person, I do quite miss that. Although it does feel like we sort of have colleagues in a very different way, because we've made a few creator friends through YouTube and we'll have kind of catch-ups with them and talk to them about their videos and our videos, and we can kind of learn stuff from each other. So I guess that's sort of a halfway house, which has been, that's been good. So I guess the only thing left to talk about is what's next? Honestly, in the grand scheme of things, I don't know, other than more of the same, trying to make better, more exciting, more entertaining, more fun to watch content, and continuing documenting what I really hope will be an amazing journey to the Olympics and beyond. One day, it might not be next year, but LA in 2028 sounds pretty good as well. And in the short term, it's Houston Marathon, baby, which is on the 14th of January, and that's like really not that long away now, which is exciting but also scary. Yeah, I really don't know what the rest of the future will hold, but I feel so grateful and fortunate to be in this position, and it's an exciting uncertainty rather than a scary one. And if you made it this far, thank you so much for being one of those awesome people that is supporting this journey, as much as that's a overused and kind of cliche word these days. Thank you to those of you that watch these videos that are subscribed. If you're not, I see you. Hit that subscribe button. It's free. It's a free way to support us. Thanks for enjoying the videos and engaging with them and believing in me, and just thank you. I feel so lucky. And of course, can't go without saying a huge thank you to my patrons, who not only are the people that also watch these videos, but are literally contributing from their pockets to support this channel and to support my running career. It always blows my mind that I have anyone supporting me in that way, and I don't know what I did to deserve it, but you're all amazing. Love the grind.